Excellency, honorable guests, I have prepared a very knowledgeable speech, but I understand it's not time anymore for speeches. It's time for sharing, for emotions, for heart and not for mind. So please let me share my heart with you today. I was born in Poland in the mid of a century which was tragic for my country. Only recently we recovered the level of population from 1939. Poland was completely devastated by two totalitarianism, Nazi and communist. And I was born in the middle of this tragic century for my country. But in the middle of this tragedy was born a wonderful Pole, Karol Wojtyła. And then nearly 40 years ago, he became Pope here in Vatican. And then in 1979, he came to Poland and he said, "Don't fear." And that was also colleagues mentioned, "Don't fear." And we didn't. And Solidarność was created, a massive movement, 10 million out of 40 million people, the biggest massive movement ever created. And then Solidarność was abolished, martial law was introduced, tanks were on the streets, soldiers were killing people. And then we didn't lose hope. And in 1989, the transformation happened. East and West of Europe were against reunificated. Iron Curtain was abolished. So what I would like to say through this is that keep going. Polish history, my history in particular, of a person born inside a country which didn't care for people, but which didn't care for environment neither. I was born in Krakow, a beautiful medieval city, very intellectual city, university from 1363. And communists wanted to destroy the spirit of this city by putting a very big and very polluting factories in Krakow. And we were living in a city where you couldn't breathe. But then I would like you to have this message from Vatican to Katowice of solidarity and of hope. Together we can change. And even if sometimes the change seems far away, we have to keep hope, because the history of my country shows that when you keep hope, when the spirit is not broken, we can achieve great things together. And my country then entered into a new era, 25, 30 years of prosperity and peace, of great development, and also of very big care taken of environment. We did tremendous efforts, and what I can see is that in Poland, environment is very highly appreciated, and right now it's the turn for climate, for us to recognize that we have also to be solidar to the earth. And that is a movement which is taking ground, which is going, and I think that together we can have this message of solidarity, of hope, but also of peace. Because I think that when we are talking together and when we will be talking from Paris to Katowice about implementing Paris Agreement, till we will be talking, the hope is there. And I wouldn't be pessimistic, Pierre. We can get everybody on board. We will do our best in order to keep everybody on board and in order to show that in a peaceful manner we can change the world. Why? Otherwise, it could be a catastrophe, in my opinion. A colleague from Philippines yesterday mentioned 3 A's. apathy, aggression, apathy, arrogance, and avarice. But what happens if we add to these three the fourth, aggression? Till we are talking, till the dialogue is going on, there are no wars. And the message of Laudato Si and the message of Pope Francis is also when the situation gets worse, in case of climate change, these are the poorest, the most vulnerable ones that suffer the most. So it's our responsibility to keep this dialogue going. And we, my government, Poland, and myself in particular, we are committed to make it run. So this message is not only a message in Katowice of solidarity and of hope, but it's also a message for unity, for peace. And last but not least, what Pope Francis says, and what you said also, is a message for responsibility and for action. Paris Agreement was a great moment in humankind history, but right now we are facing concrete actions. This is in Katowice that we will decide about on what are the guidelines, what are the rules according to which Paris Agreement will be implemented. This is in fact, everything starts in Katowice. Our job as governments will end up with the rules, but we will open a completely new perspective, and this new perspective must be filled by governments. But we are in the 21st century, and this is a century when we can all interact. And that's also a great moment here in Vatican to see so many people coming from so different perspectives, from different countries, communicating together. Let's keep this spirit going also in Katowice. Let's change together, let's drive change together, and let's believe in solidarity, in hope, in peace, and in action. Thank you.